Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The I.S.U.P.K. under commanding General YAHANNA presents the Lord's 57th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under commanding General YAHANNA. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer
The I.S.U.P.K. presents the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. You do not want to miss this one, Israel. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The I.S.U.P.K. under commanding General YAHANNA presents the Lord's 57th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under commanding General YAHANNA. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer
The I.S.U.P.K. presents the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. You do not want to miss this one, Israel. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The I.S.U.P.K. under commanding General YAHANNA presents the Lord's 57th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under commanding General YAHANNA. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West. They're Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yeshai Brakatam to all the brothers, Yahweh Shemar Latan Ba'ashem Yahushai to all the sisters. I'm priest and officer Barak Yala. So like a priest and officer of 500 Barak Yala with the I.S.U.P.K, which stands for the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out of 1 West 123rd Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General YAHANNA. You understand? And just like every Thursday evening, we have the Brotherhood class taught by myself with a heavy topic today, right? That integration, something that we think, you know, a whole generation fought for. Fought is a big word, really marched for equal rights, civil rights, which is diabolical, requesting civil rights from an uncivilized people, people that is not civil at all, right? The topic of the class is integration really is a failed experiment. Because even when you think about it, right? Integration, it's like in modern day times like today, integration would be a YouTube prank. It would be a YouTube social experiment. We would see it would fail. It absolutely fail on all levels. We're going to pull up some articles and see the result of integration. It's bad on all sides for everybody. You understand? And of course, the main point of reference would be our records, which is the Bible. You understand? The 1611 King James Version of the Bible, the records of the Israelites, which tells you from the jump that we were to be separate. Matter of fact, even before the Israelites came on the scene, the Most High never was for integration. That's why he separated the nations at the Tower of Babel. You understand? But real quick, before we get into these articles, before we get into these, just know that we're live on I.S.U.P.K, Montreal, Toronto, I.T.U.P.K La Pura Neta on YouTube, and I.S.U.P.K Montreal, I.S.U.P.K Canada, and U.P.K La Pura Neta on Facebook as well. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, or whatnot. You understand? Bear with me 1 second. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. You understand? Boost the algorithm. Our people need to know the truth, right? There is nothing more important to know our, how do you want to call it? Identity. Because knowing who we are, we would know how to act. We would have known that integration really is an experiment that we should have never been a part of in the first place. You know how? Because it's not the first time we integrated. It's not. Maybe it's the most modern times, probably. All right, so be it. But it's not the first time. It is definitely the last. I just want to say shout out to everybody in the chat. Shalak Yala, my brother, Shalom Yabashin Shabrakatah. Quentin, I think your brother, Yabashin Shabrakatah. I'm going to get to your question in a second. Officer Adiyar will be here shortly as well. So 1,000 Adiyar, Shalom Anawan Yabashin Shabrakatah. The water for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Before we get into it, Quentin had a question. What is the ranks in the I.S.U.P.K? You have Commanding General YAHANNA. You have the generals, the captains of 13,000, captains of 10,000, officer of 1,000, Salakia, officers of 5,000, Salakia, officer of 1,000, like Officer Arya is about to join us, myself, officer 500, officer 50, and troopers. You understand? Any other questions or comments? Absolutely put it in the chat. But let's get into these articles. Let's see what happened with integration. Matter of fact, Trump, the big bad Trump said civil rights led to white people, what he said, being discriminated on or something like that. Let me pull up the article. Trump said something interesting on civil rights, where he said it led to white people being very badly treated. That's what he said, right? Let me see if I could pull up the article. Of course, It cannot be more of a lie than that. Let me see. Is it going to let us pull up the article? I'm going to share my screen. Bear with me 1 second. It will not let me pull up the article. No sweat. Let me see if I could pull up a picture of his quote, right? He said white people were treated very badly during the civil rights. Now, let me show you. Yeah, that's good enough. Let me share my screen. 1 second. Y'all can look it up on your own time. It's in the New York Times. There's various articles. Trump said civil rights led to white people being very badly treated. I don't recall white people being hosed down. You understand? I don't recall German shepherds. Like, since slavery, we have PTSD, where black and Hispanics, even though a lot of us own dogs, is damn near we're like born afraid of dogs. I myself own a Rottweiler, you know, but our people are naturally afraid of dogs since like slavery. We have PTSD of being chased down by these dogs, being mauled, and being eaten. Literally, they fed us to the dogs, you know. And then fast forward, let me pull up a picture. Fast forward during the civil rights, right? This is what we got. This is not white people being treated very badly. This is, last time I checked, that was a brother. That was a black man. White people were at the opposite end of the leash. Matter of fact, white people held the leash. You know? When were white people ever treated badly during the civil rights movements? When? You see, the problem is, our oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. Devil meaning deceiver. Because now it creates a whole propaganda, right? A new propaganda for black fatigue. White people were already tired of us. About to pull up another article to show you how tired they were of us. You know, I don't think it's just in America. In Canada, it's no different. In Canada, not only are they saying let's make Canada great again, they're using the same motto as the US. They're crying out about white genocide in Edmonton in Canada. Imagine how diabolical it is for a colonizer to be on the land that his people colonized, his people stole. You know, they slaughtered the indigenous people just to cry out that their, you know, descendants of colonizers are being genocided. How does that even make sense? It's the same as Elon Musk's father saying white South Africans are being unalived by the hundreds of thousands, or whatever number he said. If you know the history of South Africa and the apartheid with Nelson Mandela, you know that that was not Caucasians losing their lives. What Trump is saying is pushing further hate on blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. That's the problem. You understand? And we really didn't have to integrate. Now, mind you, who is the face of integration? Martin Luther King. They're going to blame you for integration. They're going to blame you for wanting to be around them. They're going to blame you. They're already blaming you. You know how I know they're blaming you? Because in Buffalo, New York, there was a devil named Peyton Gendron who scoped out a this man lived like miles away, over what, 200 miles away, 2,000 miles away from a black neighborhood. He scoped out the blackest neighborhood that he could find in Buffalo, New York, for months. He scoped out a grocery store where there was virtually no white people, and went on a unaliving spree in the grocery store. He actually, right, Quinton said he went live on stream. He did. And on the live stream, guess what? He hit one of his fellow white men. And you know what he did? He apologized. He apologized. Imagine that. He was not sorry for all the black lives he was taking. The moment he hit a white man, it was a mistake. I forgot if he hit him or he just scared him. It doesn't matter. The point is, he apologized to his fellow white man. What does the Bible say? The Bible says, let me not even paraphrase. Let me just pull it. Ecclesiasticus 13. Understand this. The Bible has all the knowledge that our people need. All of it. There's not one thing that we need that is outside the Bible. But because of the indoctrination of our oppressor, we think the Bible don't belong to us, which is another lie. We think that the Bible is a white man's book. We have no issues reading The Art of War, which is a Chinese man's book. We have no issues reading, I don't know, a manual, a car manual, or the kids are reading PlayStation manuals for whatever the case is. Y'all not saying, listen, do not read the books you read in school. These are white people books. You see how stupid you sound with your argument about the Bible being a white man's book? You understand? If your computer will not work right now, and you look at troubleshooting steps, is it going to be in your native language? See, you need to stop listening to white people. The only time you should listen to white people is when they tell you they're going to do some egregious, diabolical, extremely violent act. Then believe them. Absolutely. Trump said he was going to Venezuela. There was no need for you to doubt him. Trump said Mexico's next, Colombia's next, Cuba's next. Listen, Trump is a gangster. He didn't just invade Venezuela. He went in there and kidnapped the president. When a white person says they're going to do something evil, absolutely believe them. Because time after time, they prove that they're the most diabolical creatures on the face of the earth. So much so that there is a species of dolphin called the vaquita. There's only 10 of them left in the wild. I think even less than 10. Why? Because our oppressors, the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of, and everything he touched. You see the story that says a king touches, everything that this king touches turns to gold? Well, everything our oppressor touches dies. You understand? Let me pull up the article. Let me pull up the verse. Suppose of Ecclesiasticus chapter 13, verse 15. I don't know if I need to zoom in. I'm going to zoom in a bit. There you go. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 13, verse 15. Every beast loveth his like. That's why Peyton Gendron said sorry to the white man in the grocery store. That's why, because every beast loveth his like. To each his own. This is the same reason why in Islam there is a hierarchy in Islam. For those who didn't know, number one in Islam, who's the number one in Islam? Arab Muslims. Listen, Arabs who are not even Muslims are on a higher level in the Arab world than you if you were a Muslim. Arabs don't give a damn that you're a Muslim. Actually, here's a quick sidebar, right? Arabs never wanted you to convert because as a non-Muslim, they could impose the jizya tax on you. Now that you convert, they can't impose a jizya tax no more. But that's a quick sidebar. But every beast loveth his like. That's why Peyton said sorry to the white man in the grocery store. You understand? And every man loveth his neighbor. Peyton loved the white man that he scared half to death. I don't know if it's a white man or a white woman, it don't matter. But he loved that fellow Caucasian person. So much so that he could not unalive them. He couldn't. He was there on a mission which we're going to go over just now, he said he wanted to save his race. You understand? That's what he said. He said he wanted to save his people. Let me pull this up. This is the Buffalo Attack Manifesto. All right, again, any questions or comments, ask them in the chat. And then we'll get into some precept to understand how that could have been avoided. This is Peyton Gendron himself. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit for y'all. His manifesto. He said, "The truth is my personal life and experiences are of no value. I am simply a white man seeking to protect and serve my community, my people, my culture, and my race." This is self-explanatory. This stems from this modern day ideology. You're going to understand why I say modern. Stems from the Great Replacement Theory, which we went over a few times, right? It was made up by some French, I keep forgetting the name of this guy. He's some French devil, right? That was saying in France, white people are becoming a minority. They're being replaced by non-white people. He was talking about the Arabs and the Africans for the most part, right? That ideology was adopted by the Americans on how white people are becoming a minority in America. This is the same thing Elon Musk's father said. America needs to be saved before white people go extinct. That's since like they've been saying that since like what, the 1930s, the early 1900s. You understand? This is not new. This is not a woke ideology from a woke white person. This is from way back in the days. This is before the civil rights. Imagine that same ideology from before the civil rights came back haunting you. You know why? Because integration was a mistake. Integration was a failed experiment. We have Officer 1000 joining us. Hey, Shalom.
Hey, Shalom, priest. How about you, Michelle? What's going on?
Everything to what's going on with you, sir?
You already know, man. Ready for the snowstorm, man.
Damn, good night.
Good.
Listen, I blame the devil for the snowstorm.
Good.
Everything is the white man's fault. Salak. Stuff
Right.
you're told today, it is the white man's fault.
God.
Yes. Listen, that'll make you alive. But real quick, right? I'm gonna get to your question in a second, Quentin. You understand? That ideology came back haunting you. That great replacement ideology, because integration was a mistake.
So like priest.
Kawakan.
Did the trooper receive the link? No question.
I'm not sure how to send it to him.
Okay, no sweat. I got it.
Okay, no sweat.
Okay.
You understand? Integration was a mistake. It was a failed experiment. The worst part about this failed experiment is what? That it's not the first time that we tried. And there was never a different result. About to go in the book of First Maccabees real quick, right? The book of First Maccabees is going to go chapter 1. I'm going to start at verse 11 just to show you. First Maccabees chapter 1 and 11. We're also going to go in, I think it's Exodus chapter 1, right? Forget Exodus. We're going to go to First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 11. This is integration right here. You understand? But before we do that, we get the question in the comment. Quinn said, "Didn't the Peyton kid have a Nazi symbols all over his?" I think he did. You know what's diabolical about that, Quentin? That's crazy. That in Canada, they just said in Canada they officially stopped associating the how do you say the kwagame again? The Nazi symbol. I forgot how to say the Nazi symbol in English. There's a name for it. They're saying they're disassociating that with neo-Nazis because originally they stole it from the East Indians. Guess what? Listen, the neo-Nazis could not be happier, because now if you have that symbol, you know, they could use that excuse as saying, well, the swastika, that's right. Now that they have a swastika in Canada, at least they could say, well, it's not racist. It's just, you know, appreciation of East Indian culture, because in Canada they legally said that's not a racist symbol no more. You know why, right? This is the result of integration. Integration allows you to be openly, hatefully racist. It opened the door for a different type of hatred. And I'm gonna tell you why, right? Let me just kind of Shalak Yala, get the first Maccabees, and then I'll break down to you that new level of hatred that these oppressors, amongst other heathens, have for us. You understand? He said, these bastards complaining about getting treated bad, but none of them getting hung or feet out. Listen, damn right. Good night. Imagine that. Integration is another level of black fatigue, brought up another level of black fatigue where you can't even speak of your history now. We're going to hear it all every year. 9/11, 4th of July, in Canada, the 1st of July, even the anthem of Canada. They're talking about their ancestors coming over here. They're not talking about the natives. That's what we hear every year. You understand? But mind you that you speak about your history, what your people have been through. You ever talk about a civil war with a Confederate flag and whatnot. Imagine being talking about what we went through, whether it's in the Americas, the Caribbean, Central and South America. You understand? In 2026, late 2025, brothers were still getting hung in the US, not just in the South, even in New York, up north. It's supposed to be safe. That's late 2025. Don't be shocked it's to happen in 2026. Matter of fact, don't be shocked you get scalped or skinned alive in 2026. Sisters go for white men saying black men ain't shit and end up in body bags. And that is not a metaphor. Y'all go look it up. Let you mention the hurt and suffering that we go through as a people. It's like, yo, they feel so uncomfortable talking about it. They feel so uncomfortable. And we complain that they should not feel uncomfortable. Why would we even complain? Me personally, I don't care whether you feel comfortable or not. I didn't ask to be integrated. I have common sense. We should be left alone. Matter of fact, we should leave them alone because we asked for integration, thinking that, you know what, thinking that they were going to stop being violent with us. Integration did not stop our oppressors from being violent with us. Peyton Gendron is a perfect example. It's the perfect example. He literally went on a hunt, and the Bible describes our oppressor as what? As a cunning hunter. This man went on a mission, went on a Call of Duty mission to scope out a black neighborhood. He found the most prominent black neighborhood around his area. He went to a black grocery store and he went on a killing spree. I just seen a clip, right, before we get into First Maccabees. I seen a clip. It's a brother talking about, I forgot the name of the comedian. He said, you see when y'all complain about Latinos, you know, Latinos commit fun crimes. Like, he was making a joke. He said Latinos commit fun crimes that you find. Let me see if I could pull it up, just so you could understand what I'm trying to say, right? Our oppressor is a monster, and we know he's a monster. And most of what he says about us is propaganda. Let me pull up that clip. Give me 1 second. That clip is hilarious. You understand? Give me 1 second. We're gonna get into First Maccabees. Bear with me 1 moment. Again, any questions, comments, y'all put it in the chat.
So Salakia, while you're talking about the Edomites, right? The Edomites, you know what I'm saying, that's on that was on the live, and you know what I'm saying, like, or planning to unalive black people. Let's not forget, you know what I'm saying, like there were like 2 Edomites that were ready to go in the island of Haiti and enslave the woman, take
Didn't
them
I?
as, you
I
know what I'm
forgot
saying,
about that.
and killed all the men. So for all of you that say, you know what I'm saying, like we are in 2026 right now, and you know what I'm saying, we should have a different type of thinking, and we should love the oppressor. We should love everybody. They don't love us, you know what I'm saying? Two Caucasian men, 2 oppressors was planning to raid an island in Haiti, and you understand, kill all the men, unalive all the men, and put, you know what I'm saying, I have like concubines, and you know what I'm saying, like I have sex with all the children and the woman that's left and put them in slavery. Just like see it, you know what I'm saying, in 2025. So like it, please.
Imagine that in 2025, late 2025, 2 white men conspired. They literally said we were going to invade Haiti, kill the men, and enslave the women and the children and use them as sex slaves. That's 2025. But guess what? Not only is that 2025, what else? What else is it? Before I show you the clip, who can tell me what it is? Anyone else but also Ariar? Who could tell me these 2 men planning to invade Haiti, just like that? You know, who could tell me what it is? They said they're gonna invade Haiti. Damn. They said these 2 men. They said they're going to invade Haiti, right? Kill all the men of Gonav, enslave the women and the children, and use them as sex slaves. Who could tell me what is this? Who could tell me what it was? I give you a few seconds. I gave y'all the answer already, like 10 times. Y'all put it in the chat. Y'all should have the answer. Shalak, Quentin, y'all ain't got the answer, Sway? No sweat. It's called integration. That's what it is. And no sweat, Charles. I said, Shalom Yavashashabakta. I said these 2 devils planning to go to Haiti to kill all the men, enslave the women and the children, and use them as sex slaves. What is it? I already gave the answer. It's integration. This is the result of integration, that failed experiment. Now, let me show you the clip real quick, and then we'll go into First Maccabees, right?
Like, the immigrants are coming in here and they're doing crime. And I'm like, but I want to say something to the white people that think that Latino immigrants are scary. I want to say that if you're white and you think that Latino immigrants are coming to America to grab a bunch of little kids and put them in a basement, no, that's your thing. I can say it, okay? Because I have a lot of white friends and they love me. They're cool with it, so be cool, okay? We're all flawed people. And my big message is to remember this, white people, when you are judging the Latino immigrants, remember this. Remember that Latinos do fun, exciting crimes. What's a Latino crime? Be racist for a moment. What's a Latino crime? I'm driving the plane and it has a little bit of cocaine. That's a fun crime. That's a fun, exciting crime. We're in the air. Ah, it's fun. So let's remember this when we judge and when we put blanket statements on the Latino immigrants. Remember that. Remember that Latino immigrants do fun, exciting crimes that belong in movies. And white people do creepy crimes from documentaries.
Shout out to the brother. You understand? He's a Cuban brother, right? Listen, white people commit the most horrendous crimes, but you're the face of crime somehow. Even when it was the time of Pablo Escobar, no people want to point out the Colombians. Did you know that one of the main smugglers was a Nazi, German? Then he died recently. I forgot his name. The whole operation of the whole drug operation was started by the CIA. They're not run by black Latinos. The biggest drug dealer on the face of the earth listen, that would shame Pablo Escobar is Victoria of England. She was not black. She was not Hispanic. She was definitely not native. You understand? These people commit the most horrendous crimes that whatever they accuse you of, most of the time is not true. When you hear about white people committing crime, then I seen a white man just got arrested in Florida for sexually abusing his dogs. If you just hear the crime, you don't even have to question, what's the ethnicity of that person? That sounds about white. Just like the brother said, white people commit crimes that you can find in documentaries. It's documented. Not like the things in the movies, where blacks and Latinos own planes. White men own all the planes. White men own all the airstrips, the drugs. Donald Trump is on a video. Let me pull up the precept as well before we forget. Donald Trump is on a video saying, now that we bombed all the boats, there's no more drugs coming to the US by boat. That's what Donald Trump said. Imagine that. He said there's no more drugs coming into the US by the waterways. We cleaned our waterways. He said that so that he said now we have to fix the land issue. He's about to invade Mexico tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, in a week. Who knows? Who cares, right?
So like a priest, if I may. And not only Mexico, Donald Trump is about to focus also on Black Americans and Haitians and all people, Black, Hispanics, and Native Indian in the US that are selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? And that was like, like one of his main thing that he wanted to do also. So, this is why, that I.S.U.P.K been telling you not to be involved in drugs. Live a good life. Come to the I.S.U.P.K, fix your life. Why? Because you're about to see something different. All you drug dealers out there, you might be exactly, in one of those, like houses that they built or building that they built, for to keep those immigrants. It might be you, It might be you. So, leave that drug life, leave that type of life, because they're coming for you pretty soon. Why? Because the white men want to have the monopoly on everything, even the drug trade. So like
Khan. And then he say he wanted to bring back the death penalty for like drug dealers or something like that. You understand? Yeah, y'all about to wake up. Let me pull that up real quick. Yeah. There you go. Donald Trump tells the governor to enact death penalty for drug dealers. This is the worst time. It was never a good time for you to be a drug dealer. You understand? But this is about to be a worse time for you to be a drug dealer. Just like Adiyar said, you think the focus just on outside of America, he's about to rain down hell on you. Why? Because the Bible says he knows he has but a short time. Donald Trump is doing the most. He's conquering the planet right before his fall. Right before Lucifer falls to the ground, he's conquering the whole planet Earth. But let me pull the precept. I'm going to show you integration in the Bible. Right? SHALAM said Trump was talking about going to Chicago and all these other cities to take us out. Damn right. I think he said Detroit is next. Chicago, Detroit, everywhere. Y'all think he pulled back the National Guard and they're not coming back? Y'all, just like the general said, right? Let me share my screen and get my screen ready. I got the precept ready. Okay. Just like the general said, right? We think what we're seeing is something like a dystopian scene. I know some people don't know. They were like, what are the generals saying? What does dystopian means? Let me share the screen to show you what the word dystopian means, and then we'll get to the precept, right? This is the meaning of dystopian. Dystopian. It says relating to or denoting an imagined state or society where there is great suffering or injustice. And we have Trooper Satam joining us. Hey, Shalamak, Yahweh Barakatah.
Shalom, so Yahweh Yashua Barakatah.
Hey, shalom.
This is the dystopian era. This is something that you would think you would only see in a movie. Listen, when we tell you this is a scene of The Purge, this is a scene of a movie, Greenland, the scene of a movie. What's the movie again? What's these movies? Not Zombieland, Walking Dead, 2012, the end of the world movies. We're living in this era. This is not something imagined. This is something biblical. Just like integration being a mistake, integration being a failed experiment is also biblical. And I'm going to show you right now, which is, damn. Listen, the result of integration being a mistake, right, is the reason why we celebrate every year Hanukkah. Hanukkah is the reason why we celebrate. Integration being a mistake is a Hanukkah. I'm gonna share the screen right here. We're gonna get a preset. Let me pull my screen up. Bear with me 1 second. So Tom, if you could read this for me, Bawakusha.
Khan, sir. Just give me a moment. I'm getting set up on my side.
No sweat.
Maccabees. Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 11. In those days when they're out of Israel wicked men.
In those days there went out of our nation wicked men. Just like today. Who? Martin Luther King and these sellouts. To be a sellout is to be wicked. You're a traitor to your people. And let's see what these sellouts did. Keep reading, Babu Kusha.
Khan. Who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Who did what?
Who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Listen, Martin Luther King said, I had a dream that little white boys and little black girls and little black boys and little white girls were hand in hand together. I had a dream. This nigga had a wet dream. That's what it is. He was the little black boy holding the hand of multiple little white girls. You understand? That's who he was. He was the grown black man having orgies with these white women. That was his dream. This nigga had a wet dream. That came to pass. And then he realized, well, damn, it was a mistake. We got post-nut clarity. It was like, I brought my people into a burning house. Maybe I should not have wanted to sleep with these white women. It was too late. You understand? Read that again, Babu Kusha.
Khan. Who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
We said, let's integrate with them. Why? Keep reading.
Khan. That are around us. That are round about us, Salakia.
No sweat. At the time, that was under the Greeks. You understand? We said, let's join the Greeks. Just like today, who are replacing the Greek of those times? Today, it's all these oppressors. It's the Americans, it's the French, the British, the Canadians, all these oppressors. All these empires were founded of the foundation of the previous empire, whether it's the Roman, Greek, Egyptian, they're all the same. Just another slave master. And you're still the same slave. Keep reading.
Khan. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
We think we're weak without these people. We think we need them. Don't you know before the civil rights we had thriving cities? Perfect example is Tulsa, Oklahoma. That was not the only one. And not just in the US. You know how many black cities they destroyed in Canada? Africville, another neighborhood in Ontario. They chased out, listen, white people were so mad. You know how mad white people were? Because fleeing, not only slaves were fleeing from the US to Canada, also fleeing from the Jim Crow era, they were going to Canada, right? They were fleeing persecution from the KKK to Canada, and the KKK followed them to Canada. White people were so mad because in Canada, I think it's in Alberta, right? around these parts. They had a program to give free land to the people. They were expecting immigrants. They were expecting Irish immigrants, Italians to take the land and work the land. They had nothing but niggas. And they got so mad they chased out the black people. Imagine that. They wanted to give what we just read earlier, Ecclesiasticus 13 and 15. Every man loveth his neighbor. They wanted to give free land to Irish immigrants. They wanted to give free land to other white immigrants. None of them, came true, or very few of them. Most of the people that came were Judites from America. They got white people so mad, giving all that free land, that free fertile land that they stole, as opposed to giving it to their fellow colonizers and their fellow oppressors. They're giving to the people that they oppress. They were not having it. And they chased us down too. We're going to cover that in these history classes. But that's what happened. That's integration. Listen, integration, you know what integration caused? Before integration, white people were just more so openly racist without much consequences. Now it brought consequences because we have to try and live all together. Right? They were not able to lynch us no more freely. It was dying down. The KKK cannot just burn a cross on your lawn and be, you know what? It is what it is. They cannot have a picnic or pick a nigger, which is where the picnic come from. They cannot hang out by having you hung from a tree no more. They couldn't do that. It's like, damn, now we have to find a solution. Now the racism was more subtle. That's what integration did. But our oppressor is, the only subtlety he has is to con you. Outside of that, his nature is to be vile, is to be destructive, so much so that they will destroy themselves before having, listen, the proof that they will destroy themselves before having you thrive over them is Tulsa, Oklahoma being bombed to the ground. We were not even integrated then. They say, we cannot let these niggas thrive. Might as well bomb our own soil. That's really what it is. If I'm not mistaken, other one, also, correct me if I'm wrong, but bombing of Tulsa, Oklahoma was the first bomb in America, the aerial attack on America. Imagine that. They rather bomb themselves to make sure you can't thrive, even though it will hurt them. The white man says what? He's going to take his life, his wife, his children, and burn down the house to the ground. That's the nature of it. You understand? Salaka.
And Salaka, if I may, if I may, that would be considered in the Constitution as a homegrown terrorist. So they terrorize their own nation.
They terrorize their own nation to make sure that you stay at the bottom. You understand? Let's go back to First Maccabees. Let's go down to verse 16. I'm gonna show you the result of integration, how this plays out today, exactly like that. Right? Let me share the screen again. 1 second. Read it when you're ready, Yacht.
First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 16. Salakia. Now, when the kingdom was established before Antiochus.
You understand? That's one of the rulers at the time, the Greek rulers at the time, Antiochus. Which lets you know what? Sidebar. Let's know the Bible is not a religious book. It's a history book. Antiochus, Alexander, the fish. There was nothing great about Alexander, the Greek. They call him the Great because white people see all colonizers as great. That's why they had statues of Christopher Columbus. You understand? That's why they had statues of what's the devil name? They claim he's freed the slaves. Abraham Lincoln. right? That's why they have cities and streets named after famous devils. The McGill University was named after James McGill, a slave owner. Imagine that. I'll go to the prestigious Harvard of Canada, not knowing that it was named after a slave master. Imagine that. Who knew? We did. This is the universal practical knowledge we provide you on a daily basis. But you refuse to like it. Why? Because it's all in the past. That's why. Well, tell white people that 9/11 was in the past. I was way too young to remember what the hell happened. Tell that to the so-called Jewish man. Netanyahu said he freed the slaves. Benjamin Netanyahu said he freed the slaves. Next time, tell him that the Holocaust was in the past. A lot of us were not even born yet. Why would we have to remember it? And if you don't want to let go of that past, well, why should we let go of our past? You understand? Salakia. Read that again, Baba Kusha.
Khan. First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 16. Now when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he taught to reign over Egypt, that he might have dominion over 2 realms.
You understand? The Greeks, the modern day Egyptian people are not the Egyptians of antiquity. They're Arabs and Greek babies. That's how they came to look like they look like today. Let me go to the next verse. You know what? Let me jump down to verse 18. It's like, you know, verse 18. Is it verse 20? Khan, let's go to verse 20. Salakia.
Khan. First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 20. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt.
After he conquered Egypt, read.
He returned again in the 140 and 30 year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude.
That great multitude is an army. After you decided to integrate, after you said, let's join the Greeks, guess what? We skipped a couple verses, right? For time's sake. The Greeks said, oh, well, listen, y'all didn't even just wrote a letter to propose to join the Greeks. Y'all went right to the king. You say, yo, listen, we're about to join you. We want to assimilate with y'all because we feel horrible. We need you. We really never did. All we always needed is one thing, is the Lord, nothing else. You understand? That's why we're in hell today. Because we think we need these people for what? They gave you all the drugs for you to get high on and the overdose. They gave you all the drugs so you could sell and go to prison and murder each other. They gave you the guns to kill yourselves. They make sure you prostitute your women. This is the people you need. And they want to talk about black men ain't shit. You sisters listen to white men. You listen to white women talking about the feminism movement. You listen to the white men saying, well, these niggas ain't shit. You repeat what the white men told you to say. We're destroyed because we follow oppressors. And we're seeing right now that after willingly trying to join with these oppressors turn their back on us. Like, hey, you know what? Slaughtering, we just conquered Egypt. We know you took a deal with us, but guess what? You're next. Trump said what? Just like Shalak said, Chicago's next. Detroit's next. And he don't give a damn if you're a Trump supporter or not. You're next. You understand? He said he went up against Israel in Jerusalem with a great multitude. He didn't say he didn't, with victuals, with gifts. He said against. You were the op. That's who you were. You understand? Keep reading. Salak, let me jump to the next verse. Read that one.
Verse Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 21. And entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar.
He stole everything. He ransacked our sanctuary. He ransacked our holy place. He don't give a damn. Listen, we built a gym. which was diabolically homosexual, because if you look at the back then, the gymnasium, which is the training place of the Greeks, they used to train naked. They told you strip down if you want to exercise. You understand? That's what they said. How do you know? Because you by joining with these Greeks, right? We adopted every single aspect of their culture. Imagine that. And their culture was to train naked. That's what the gym was for. Y'all think I'm making this up? let me show y'all, right?
So like LGBT will be like, you know what I'm saying, will feel at home. You know what I'm saying? Like
as a matter of fact, they made it legal to be a homosexual and a pedophile back then. It's called a pederasty. That's a fact. Like, you see, the thing is, y'all think is propaganda. We're just talking down on a certain people. No, we're not. We're not. It's just knowledge. You know, if you didn't know, well, now you know. You understand? Give me 1 minute. Good night. Give me 1 second. Let me see. This said, the word gymnasium originates from the Latin, which in turn comes from the Greek gymnasion. The term originally referred to a place for physical exercise and training, particularly for young men. Listen, you can't make this up that they're not homosexuals. It doesn't say for men and women. It said for young men, especially for young men. You understand? But let me see. Gymnasium in ancient Greece. That's what I want. Greece or Rome, it's the same. There you go. It says the gymnasium served as a training facility for athletes preparing for public games such as the Olympic Games, which also we adopted from the Greeks. It was not only a place for physical exercise, but also a center for socializing and intellectual pursuits. It's a gay club. That's Slovakia. How you gonna socialize naked? What the? Listen, you cannot make this up. Oh, President is a sexual deviant. Khan, Slovakia.
Today, the white men have bathhouses where they're all naked and socialize.
They have a specific Jewish bathhouse as well. I used to work in a synagogue. They said, if you go there, you might see some people with no clothes. I was like, well, I ain't going there. Well, you have to clean the place. The Lord spared me from such diabolical atrocities. You understand? I never had to see nothing. He spared me from witnessing that. But know that the Jewish people, I forgot what's it called. They have a name. They call it a spiritual bath. Only men are allowed to go there. Men and boys, because you're a man in the Jewish tradition from the time that you have your bar mitzvah. Just so y'all know. You understand? Show me that in the Torah. Salaki. But again, it says the term gymnasium derives from the Greek word gymnos, meaning naked, as athletes typically train without clothing. This practice was believed to celebrate the human form and promote an appreciation of physical beauty. Do we need to explain it to you more how a oppressor is just a disgusting creature? Like, you have to appreciate beauty by being naked. If you are naked for whatever reason around another man, you absolutely are waving the rainbow flag. There is no going around that. And we decided to ditch our culture and adopt the culture of these disgusting people. Is that why? We decided, I seen a sister right today on the Instagram. She said, people are making money off of black AI. Why are you complaining? You probably go to the church and love white people. You probably want to save everybody. Why are you complaining that people are making money off of black AI? You know, you didn't complain when they opened the door to these sodomites like Lil Nas X. You didn't complain, when they're pushing the gay agenda in our community. You embraced it. Y'all didn't complain when Eminem crowned himself the rap god. You said he's talented. Y'all didn't complain when Bob Marley was on the scene talking about reggae this and reggae that. This Bob Marley is a melanated Edomite. Why y'all complaining now? Because y'all broke and they make money off of you. Y'all march for this. You told the Greeks we want to be with you. And then y'all want to listen. We're from the tribe. Myself and Satan from the tribe of Benjamin. I think the tribe of Benjamin learned their lesson in the book of Judges. You understand? They learned their lesson. You abandon your culture. So what? You could train naked? Now they're turning around and they said, well, we took over Egypt. Now let's ransack Jerusalem. Let's steal all the gold and we're going to force them to eat pork. That's exactly what happened. Let's go back to the first Maccabees, Salaki. Share my screen again. Let's jump to verse. Yeah, they're going to steal our stuff. No sweat. Let's jump to verse 24, I think. Yeah, read verse 24, Baba Kusha. You're on mute.
Khan. First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 24. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly.
Stop. Read it, but stop at the commas, Baba Kusha.
Khan, Salakia. And when he had taken all away.
Listen, when he was done, and the white man's never done stealing. How do you know? Trump just stole Greenland, not because you landed a boat 500 years ago. That means that you have rights to the land. I'm gonna take that from you. That's the hypocrisy. Yeah. Good night. Keep reading, Baba
Khan. He went into his own land, having made a great massacre.
Listen, it was not enough to steal from you. It was not enough to rip you off after you made a deal with them willingly. You willingly assimilated. You say, yo, listen, we'll abandon our culture. We'll abandon our God. We'll give up everything just to be like you. You turn around and say, I no sweat. And then he murdered you. He literally stabbed you in the back. Literally, and stole everything from you. That's what he did. That's what all these devils have been doing. You willingly did what? You went and integrated. And then what happened? You lost all the black businesses. You lost everything. You're still getting murdered by the police. But it's not racism no more. Because we're all equal. We're not segregated. We're not treated different. Right? You can't complain. Eminem is just more talented than another black man. You can't complain. Right? Is that what it is? You can't complain because you made the choice. And really, when it comes down to it, we don't have a choice but to follow the Lord, because nothing good comes with not following the Lord. You follow the heathens, then what? They turn their back on you and they slaughter you. He said he turned back after dealing with Egypt, and he went into Jerusalem against Israel, and he stole everything. He stole our altars, he stole our gold, name it, he took it. Man would have taken a golden dust particle. You understand? He made what? A great massacre. He slaughtered you. That's what he did. Keep reading.
And spoken very proudly.
And what?
Spoken very proudly.
This man boasted about it. He said, I did that. Y'all seen the meme with Trump? Let me see if I can pull it up. Listen, I found this meme. I think I reposted on my own page, right? I've seen this meme. They made the same meme with Christopher Columbus. It's I think it's a Bobby Schmurder interview. They used AI, right? They use AI with that Bobby Schmurder interview. Let me see. Let me share the screen right here. This is what the Greeks said.
Salaki, are you talking about Salaki? Are you talking about the one with Takashi? Where you say I stole that shit?
Yeah, that's Tekashi.
Yeah,
Tekashi.
that's Takashi. Yeah, he was on Vlad TV.
Stole that shit. That's what I do, nigga. Fuck, nigga, I stole that shit. Stole that shit. That's what I do, nigga. Fuck, nigga, I stole that shit.
That's exactly what the Greek said. He said he came in the temple, he stole everything, he made a great massacre, and then he sat down on what was Vlad TV back in the days of the Greeks and said what?
Stole that shit. That's what I do, nigga. Fuck, nigga, I stole that shit.
That's what the Greeks said. That's what Antiochus said. You understand? That's what Donald Trump said. Donald Trump said, "Yo, listen,
them suck. Them suck.
Salakia,
them bastard at Vlad TV back then.
they had
bastard at Vlad TV back then. Salakia.
Yeah, they did. You know, nothing is new. The Bible says what? Nothing is new under the sun. That that meme of Trump is biblical. We just read it in the Maccabees. You can't tell me the Bible is fake. Everything in the Bible is right here and right in front of your eyes. Whether it has unfolded, whether it's unfolding, or whether it will unfold. The Bible is your historical record. And as per your record, guess what? Integration was a mistake. That's what your record says. You willingly joined the Greeks. That they turn around and what? Slaughter you? And guess what? We're going to go in the book of Judges real quick. But guess what? Now, you're thinking, you know what? Let's go back to following the Lord. The Greeks said, well, you chose our way of life. You can't go back to following the Lord. Now you have to eat pork. If you don't eat pork, you die. Y'all go read, what is it? The First Maccabees, the 2nd chapter, I think, with the mother and the 7 sons. They were tortured for what? Just because it said we're not going to stain our soul with pork. Well, you think you're going to make us live longer? I could eat the pork now. The Lord smites me with a heart attack. Was that worth it? And then I have to pay for it in the next life? Niggas say, yo, listen, kill me. I don't care. I'm going to be back. These niggas were gangsters. They say, yeah, go ahead, kill me. They were tortured. Having their eyes gouged out, their appendages cut off. You see, let me pull up that picture, right? This happened a lot especially in the West Indies. Especially in the West Indies. We were dipped in boiling cauldron, not even of water, which would still be diabolical, but boiling sugar cane. You understand? And molasses. Boiling sugar juice. Listen. You see how it says how Africans, we know it's not Africans, but we're dipped in boiling sugar juice as punishment. The Greeks did that to us. You can read it, the accounts is in right here. It's in your historical record. It's right there in the Bible. 1611 King James, First Maccabees. The story with the mother and her 7 sons. They get the tongues cut off. One of them, guess what? You know how you don't speak your language today? One of them was so gangster. You know what he told the Greeks? He said, la-ah. He didn't say no. Let me pull that precept real quick and then we'll go back. We're going to go in the book of Judges. Give me 1 second. These brothers were so gangster. These brothers, like John Muhammad said, they had cojones. They were not cowards. These brothers were one West. You understand? They were not cowards. Unlike a lot of y'all. Right? Bear with me 1 second. What is it again? Is this First Maccabees? Or is it 2nd Maccabees? Listen, it's somewhere right there. The brothers. Let me see. I think it's 2nd Maccabees chapter 2. I could be mistaken. What is it again? With the mother. and her 7 sons. Bear with me 1 second.
Second Maccabees chapter 7.
Yeah, that's where it is. 2nd Maccabees chapter 7. The water. 2nd Maccabees chapter 7. Y'all think it's a joke. Let me see. I just want to get what the brother said. Yeah,
Salakia, you know what I'm saying? Salakia, if I may, for any Christian, you know what I'm saying, that thinks, you know what I'm saying, eating pork is like, you know what I'm saying, like allowed according to the Bible, according to Christ. For anybody that is weak, you know what I'm saying like, well, you know what, we can't follow these laws. This is an important story, you know what I'm saying? This is something that you should go and look into. Why? Because this story shows you how to be, you know what I'm saying, like, in tune with God, how to build your character and be somebody that follow Christ, because Christ died also because he was righteous, because he kept the laws. Those brothers, you know, right. The story of those brothers is something that I love a lot. You know what I'm saying? I love these stories a lot. And you know what I'm saying, when I feel weak, when I used to feel weak, that story brought, you know what I'm saying, some strength into me, man. You understand? Because I realized, you know what I'm saying, it's not about me. It's about something bigger than me. So like,
oh, damn right. Most High in Christ. Listen, if you feel weak, you understand, go over these stories. Go over the story of your ancestors. Talking about the ancestors, your ancestors. You are not only are you your ancestor, but go over your records. Listen, every time these Americans do what? They have pep talks, talk about, yo, during we fought the Civil War, there was this, and that. During World War II, Colonel such and such. Listen, guess what? During the Maccabees, under Alexander the Greek, Antiochus, Ptolemy, whatever the case is, we were tortured. Why? Because we were not cowards. We'd rather die than eat pork. Now, the Muslims, apparently they have an exception. Muslims, if they starve to death, Allah is the most merciful. They can eat pork. That's in the Quran. The Bible has no exception for you to be a coward. There is no license to sin. You understand? Let me share my screen real quick. Salakia. Read that, Babu Kusha.
Come. 2nd Maccabees chapter 7 verse 7. So when the first was dead, and after this manner, they brought the second to make him a mocking stock.
You understand? That's the story of the 7 brothers. Y'all will read from the first verse. The Greeks like, yo, listen, y'all gonna eat pork or die. They said, nah. They killed the first. I think I don't remember if that's the one they cut off his tongue. Then they brought the second brother, one after the other. They're gonna make him laughing stock. Read.
Khan. When they had pulled off his skin off his head with the hair.
They did what?
And when they had pulled off the skin of his head with the hair.
Listen, just like the devils, the colonizers, scalped native Indians, they scalped you. Listen, if you actually, matter of fact, let me help you out. When you look into the torture devices and the torture tactics that these colonizers used on us, they got that from the Greeks, like quartering you, you know, feeding you to the animals. If our PTSD is passed down from generation to generation, our culture is passed down from generation to generation, what makes them different? They scalped the brother. They pulled off the skin off his head with the hair. That's scalping. You understand? Why? Because he said, I'm not eating pork. Remember that next time you eat some griot. Next time you eat some pork chop, some boudin. What they eat in Jamaica? They fried pork.
Fried pork.
Pork. You understand? Remember that next time you eat chitlins. You understand?
And with
You
this
want to
topic,
eat
Salaka,
booty? Khan, Salaka.
right quick, with the scalping, you know what I'm saying? They say like the Native Indian were savages because they were scalping. They learned that from the oppressor. Why? Because the oppressor even had, you know what I'm saying, like money. They were paying people, you know what I'm saying, like those people to scalp Native Indians and say, if you bring this amount, you get this amount of money. Native Indian learned scalping people from the oppressor. They weren't savages for scalping white people. They were replaying, you know what I'm saying, redoing or doing what they saw those oppressors, Caucasian, what they did to their people. That's what, you know what I'm saying, that was happening. You know what I'm saying? It didn't come from those Native Indians. It came from the oppressor. And just like we read it right here, it come from the Greeks. It come from, you know what I'm saying, those Caucasian as well. That's their culture. So like it.
Absolutely right. As a matter of fact, you learned gang violence from the oppressor. Y'all didn't learn how to shoot up the neighborhoods. Just it ain't came up to your mind like that. Y'all learned from the Italians. Y'all learned from the Irish. Y'all learned from the Jewish mob. That's where you learn your ways of your violent ways from. You understand? Read that again, Baba Kusha.
Khan. Second Maccabees chapter 7 verse 7. So
now read where the part where Salaki, read the part where he gets scalped.
Khan. And when they had pulled off the skin off his head with the hair,
read.
They asked him, Wilt thou eat before thy be punished throughout every member of thy body?
Listen, that's the second brother. There's 7 of them. He killed the first one. You know, they say, you know what? They scalped this one. Like, yo, listen, are you gonna eat the pork now? Imagine the top of his head with the skin, his flesh bleeding is exposed. And he's like, yo, we know it hurts. We know it hurts. Now are you gonna eat the pork? And let's see what the brother says. What he said? Read that.
What it takes, and that's what it takes to serve the Most High. That's what it takes to be like God. Like you said, Officer Barakala, you know what I'm saying? Imagine the pain that brother is enduring right now. Imagine, you know what I'm saying, like he has his skull exposed, man. His skull exposed. And imagine, you know what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying, the pain that brother is in. Just to eat, to do what? Eat a little piece of griot in Creole. Eat a little piece of pork. Eat a little piece of bacon. You know what I'm saying? You don't even have to swallow it. So like a pause. You don't even have to chew it. But just put it in your mouth. So like your pause.
Damn. You know good night.
Imagine the pain that brother must be into. But let's see, you know what I'm saying, what he says. So like it.
Read that.
Come on. Second Maccabees chapter 7 verse 8. But he answered in his own language and said, No, la.
He said what?
No.
Well, one second. Let me help y'all, right? How do you say no in Greek? Who knows? Who knows how you say no in Greek? I'm not that fluent in Greek. I ain't gonna hold you. That's not a language that fascinates me. You understand? How do you say no in Greek?
I'll Google it. Oof.
Matter of fact, let me go right here because I want the people to hear it at the same time, right? Let me see if you can hear it.
Oh, he.
Y'all can hear it.
Can't, sir.
Oh, he.
What did the brother say? Read it again.
No. Khan. Second Maccabees chapter 7 verse 8. But he answered in his own language and said, No.
What is his own language?
Hebrew.
So what he would have said?
La.
What did the Greek say?
Oh, he.
Listen, this nigga said la. This man gangster. He said la. You understand? Finish it.
Khan. Wherefore he also received the next torment in order, as the former did.
They say he got tortured because this man was so, what we call it, insolent. You know, this man had attitude. Man, you talking about niggas with attitude? Just like Commander General YAHANNA said in the lecture, niggas with attitude. He's talking about fuck the police. These brothers were college boys. They're not the brother in Maccabees getting tortured for not eating shitlins. You understand? He said la. He didn't say no. He didn't say oshi or whatever Greek nonsense they say. He said la. And then what happened? He got tortured like his brother. And then he got killed. That's a nigga with attitude. You understand? It's a lot. Let's go to the book of Judges real quick. Because now that we want to complain about the result of integration. And it's not the first time. Because we always wanted to be around these nations. It's like the kids are told not to smoke cigarettes. What they do? You understand? They go smoke cigarettes. They want to be like the cool kids at school. And now they cry and commit dumb stuff. Then they cry when they go to jail. Oh, Dad, you were right. Maybe I should not hang out with these people. Maybe I should not have smoked cigarettes. No, I can't run. Yeah, listen, you got to smoke cigarettes. You won't be able to outrun the police that is chasing you for whatever crime that you did or did not commit. That's a fact. Read that, Babu Kusha.
Khan, Judges chapter 10, verse 11. Yet he have forsaken me.
Verse 11 or like verse 13?
Khan, Judges chapter 10, verse 13, Salakia.
No sweat.
Yet he have forsaken me.
You have what?
Forsaken me.
Listen, we have forsaken the Most High. Why? Because we wanted to be like the other nations. We wanted to be like the Greeks. Martin Luther King brainwashed us. I don't even like to say brainwashed, because to wash something is to take the filth off of something, right? He programmed us. I mean, the white man did, with the help of Martin Luther King, programmed us to do what? To join them. You understand why? Because this man really wanted to have sex with a white woman. That's it. And imagine that. Not only did he do that, sidebar, he plagiarized the speech of a racist East Indian. And that East Indian is also a pedophile, Salakia. Gandhi. Yeah. Imagine that. You know. To what avail? We're still getting lynched. They have, what is it, in Memphis, or was it not in Memphis, in Mississippi? They have a goon squad. These police officers are carrying sex toys. That's what, in 2025, 2024, they have a goon squad. They put the gun in the brother's mouth and pull the trigger. This is what you marched for? Damn. Well, let's see what God says about that. Now that you're crying about, well, maybe it was actually a mistake. Let's see what the Most High says. Read that again, Babu Kusha.
Khan. Yet ye have forsaken me and served other gods.
You wanted to train naked in the gym. Good night. That's why you joined the Greeks. You wanted to sleep with a disgusting, filthy white woman, and then turn around and complain that you should not be with white women. Why? Because they're going to shoot you in the face with their shotgun, and then they're going to claim innocence because it was a freak accident while they were cleaning the gun. And again, these examples I'm giving you are not metaphors that actually happened. The white woman shot her black boyfriend saying, well, it was a freak accident. I was cleaning my gun. You shot him in the head. How are you cleaning the gun and a shotgun and it's loaded? Y'all are taking white supremacy to a whole different level. Like, y'all, good night. Y'all like the kid that never been punished and think you could get away with anything. And it's even worse when you're a girl. Girls think they could get away with everything. Imagine if you're a white girl. Boy, this is integration. Read the last part, Babu Kusha.
Khan, sir. Wherefore I will deliver you no more.
You understand? The Most High said, listen, I delivered you from Egypt. I delivered you from the Philistines. I delivered you from the Moabites. I delivered you from all these nations. The Zidonians, the Amorites, the Canaanites, right? And you keep turning your back on me. He said, well, hey, Lord be with you. Try your luck. Let's see what he says. He didn't say try your luck, right? But you get the point. Read verse 14.
Judges chapter 10, verse 14. Go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen.
Listen, now that the Greeks are slaughtering you after you decided to build gyms, well, go cry to the Greeks. Tell them to stop. What's the Greek god name again? Is it Zeus? Yeah, Zeus. Go tell Zeus to free you from the captivity of the Greeks. Go tell, what's the Egyptian god, the pigeon? Ra or Set? I don't know.
Osiris?
They're all incestuous, deviant gods. Anyways, go tell the crocodile god to free you. You want to fight white supremacy and be a Muslim? Well, go tell Allah to free you. Tell Allah to make sure you people stop selling crack. Mess around and find out all you Negro who turn Muslims all are still selling crack. Probably selling even more crack than the Christian gangbangers. Damn, that's bad. What's the sister name? She was married to Kevin Gates for like what, 2 weeks?
Brittany Renner?
Yeah, the whore. She said Islam opened her eyes and helped her find herself. She was just a whore with a veil on her face. That's it. She became a Muslim for like two weeks. And then I don't know what changed. She had a drape on her. That's it. The hijab did not cleanse her soul. You understand? Now go cry to Allah to save your people from the people that enslaved you and put you in sexual harems and prostituted your women under the guise of Islam. That's what the Arabs did that to us. You want to pray Allah for what? Salvation? You wanted to integrate with white people? Go tell white people to stop murdering your people. You voted for Trump. Tell Trump to stop deporting Latinos. You understand? Just do that. That's what you voted for. That's your God. You made a covenant with him. You understand? The Most High tells you, hey, well, now tell him to deliver you from captivity. Tell him to get rid of. He said there's no more drugs coming into America. No sweat. Tell him now to remove the drugs from your neighborhood without killing you. Tell him to do that, since this is who you trust in. The Bible says that trusting in Egypt, I'm paraphrasing, right, in Isaiah chapter 30, verse 3, trusting in Egypt would be a shame and confusion. Now you're like, listen, how many Latino brothers are like, damn, maybe we should not have voted for Trump. You understand? Because now you get deported, whether you're a citizen or not. How many natives, because the native in Canada, they vote too? They have the right since what, 1960? Diabolical, I know. They vote and they're like, damn, we vote, but we're still not getting clean water. Come to find out, the new prime minister, his dad was a principal in a residential school. The previous prime minister, Justin Trudeau, his dad ran the residential schools for 8 years. And then we're shocked. Why are we shocked at the treatment we're receiving from these people? Because we reject our culture. That's why. Reject our identity, reject our culture. The Bible says that we reject the knowledge. We're lost. Matter of fact, let me pull that up real quick, right? It's what? Hosea chapter 4 and 6. Let me pull that real quick. This is the book of Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. Read that for me.
Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
The nation of Israel, we're destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because we don't know. You understand? Read again, keep reading.
Because thou hast received knowledge.
And most of us don't know because we refuse to know. We reject the knowledge. That's why. Paul says we'd rather hear smooth things. It feels better to know that. You know, it feels better that we could all walk together. We're all equal. It feels good. We're all equal. We all have the same rights. There is nothing wrong with marrying whoever you want to marry. You know, we all have a choice. You understand? We could all make it. We could all sit at the same table and be, you know, married together and drink and whatever the case is. That's what they call a dream. You have to be asleep to be able to dream. And when you wake up, you're like, well, damn. The reality is not so, I forgot the term in English, but it's not all flowers and it doesn't smell like flowers. It's beautiful. When you wake up and you walk outside the house, what do you see? Crackheads. That's what you see. You smell dope. Listen, I remember growing up in NDG in Montreal. Like, I walk in the building multiple times in my dad's building. I seen someone shooting up in the staircase. I was like, damn. Like, we grow up, not like oppressors grow up. Like, I remember, that's what we said. We walk into a nice neighborhood. Do you know what we say automatically when we look to a neighborhood? And we just call it a nice neighborhood. Really, it's just not run down. It looks better than ours. That's what we say it's nice. But what do we say when we walk into these neighborhoods? This is where white people live. Where's the book? I have the book. I give a copy to Officer Adiyar. It's called Black Skin and White Mask. We see that it's written by Frantz Fanon, right? Everything that we associate with white people is a good thing. These neighborhoods are white people neighborhoods. This is where white people live. And it's amazing. There's a big house, there's a fence, there's a, what do you call it again? There's a hedge. You understand? It's cut down properly. Damn, they shaped the hedge. They shaped the hedge and anything. There's a little dog, you know, there's the family walking with the kids. There's parks that don't have needles in the sandbox. You don't see crack pipes. You don't see baggies full of cocaine. Listen, where I live in the city, right? There's one street specifically. It's called Saint Luc. Once you cross that street, this is not the same neighborhood I'm in. Literally, you could see it. You could smell it. Their street is nicely done. There's no cracks in the street. There's crack on my street though. This is different type of crack. You know, it doesn't smell like. It don't even smell like cigarettes. This is everything. It looks so great. It feels great to be there. Right? The reality of it is once you cross the street back on my side, now I see, listen, you know, the rats are sharing the rent. The rats are living rent-free in the buildings. The roaches are living rent-free. You walk down my street, there's not one day, ask Officer Adiyar, there's not one day on my street where there's not garbage just on the side of the street. Not one day. I'm not talking about garbage bin, mattresses, couches, TVs, beds, all types of furniture. You don't see that in what we think is a white people neighborhood. The only time that you don't see that in your neighborhood, or you don't see yourself in that neighborhood that we see as dirty, like Montreal North, the East Side, NDG, Uptown, is when you close your eyes, or when you play Grand Theft Auto. The point is, it is not your reality. You understand? And because it is not your reality, you have to strive to achieve that reality or make it real. How do we try to do that? Integration. It was not a possibility for Martin Luther King back then. Khan.
You know what I'm saying? Like what you're saying it's what you're saying is so heavy. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a video that I took, like, you know what I'm saying, I woke up early, like, you know what I'm saying, like 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? You see how we have, like, you know what I'm saying, sometimes you have garbages on the side of the streets in Montreal North, and after that, you know what I'm saying, they have to pick it up. Well, there was this Edomite, you know what I'm saying, that was just going a she Edomite, you know what I'm saying, she dog. That was just going around, like, you know what I'm saying, opening the bag, you know what I'm saying, trying to get bottles and whatnot, and throwing all the rest of the garbage on the floor. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, the government and the TV is gonna come and say, well, look at Montreal North, look at how it's dirty. Meanwhile, it is white people waking up in the morning and throwing garbages, you know what I'm saying, in your own neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And that goes with the integration. We integrate with these people, and now they could come in our neighborhood and just rip open the garbages and throw everything on the floor. Meanwhile, you know what I'm saying, like, we are a type of people, yes, we put the garbage in the outside, you know what I'm saying, so the government, you know what I'm saying, the city could pick it up. But you have white people in our neighborhood that will come and open those bags and throw all the garbage on the floor. I have the video posted that, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, this is why we should not integrate with these people. You know what I'm saying? This is why, you know what I'm saying, one of the reasons why we should not have these people in our neighborhood, because they will make sure that their neighborhood looks good and whatnot. Meanwhile, they will come and open the bags, your garbage bags in our neighborhood, and throw everything on the floor. So, like,
Damn right. And that's heavy, because at the end of the day, you may think there's only some type of segregation, right, in the US, or I think some people call it redlining, right? Listen, the city is really segregated. I remember growing up, Côte de Neige, which is, it translates to hill of snow, right? They used to call it at some point when I was really young. My mom used to tell me that they used to call it Côte de Nègre. They call it uptown hill of niggers. Listen, you know, in some parts of uptown, you might see white people. You know where they live? They live on their segregated streets. These are all Jewish. Listen, you can't make this up. You understand? And where these Jewish people live, it looks nice. It looks nice. They have their own security. They have their own police. They have their own EMS. They have their own everything. You understand? So, like, the point is this I was trying to make, right? It was never possible for Martin Luther King or any brother like him back then to be able to sleep with a white woman without consequences. They should have never done that, consequences or not, anyways, because it's a sin, you know. But the only way he was able to achieve that without consequence from the oppressor is by integrating. That's it. You only want to achieve, probably have to do a part 2 of that class, right? Integration is a failed experiment, because I have to bring you that, I have to quote that book. We don't see how we look at white people on such a pedestal, such a high level that we trying to reach. When the Bible says, well, let me pull that, right? This is what the Bible says. Let's go to, what is it, Deuteronomy? Give me 1 second. This is what the Bible says, because we think they're on such a level that we try to achieve. You understand? Deuteronomy chapter 28. Go to verse 1. Read that, Kusha.
Come on. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass.
It shall happen. So something come to pass, meaning it's going to happen. Read.
If thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
If we listen and pay attention, if we hearken diligently, you understand? That's what it means. If you pay attention, not hearing it on one ear and letting it go out the other. No, pay attention to this. Listen. Read.
To observe and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day.
If we don't sin, you understand? If we obey the Lord, if we do not sleep with white women, if we do not integrate, if we do not eat pork, if we do not live an alternative lifestyle, what will happen? Read.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations on the earth.
No, it says we will all be equal.
that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Nah, we will be able to reach their level.
The Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Listen, you understand? We think we have to rise up to the level of our oppressors when we're supposed to be above all nations of the earth. All of them. What do we have to do? It's simple. We have to obey. The Lord said, be holy. Holy meaning separate. He said, segregate. And y'all just want to sleep with white women. This nigga had post-nut clarity and said, damn, it wasn't my dream was a nightmare. Now I put my people into a burning house. They were done using Martin Luther King, and then they put a bullet in his head. Salakia. You understand? Y'all talk about what's the name again? Malcolm X. Y'all want to talk about Malcolm X or whatnot? He became Muslim. You know, y'all see Islam as an escape from what you call it again? White supremacy of Christianity. Muslims killed him. Y'all don't talk about that though. You understand? All we have to do is one thing: obey the Lord. Which entitles what? You have to love Mexicans. You have to love Haitians. You cannot beef between Jamaicans and Trinidadians. You cannot beef between the brothers who are in captivity in the UK and the brothers in captivity in French. You cannot beef between any tribe. We have to gather together. We have to follow the laws. And we cannot compromise. Especially not for a filthy white woman. Don't you know that's the reason the kingdom got split in the first place? Interracial marriage. Solomon lusted for the daughter of Pharaoh, an African woman. Solomon, with all the knowledge, I think he forgot. He forgot that Egyptians use crocodile feces as a contraceptive. Yeah, Salakia. I think he forgot. Solomon married what? A Moabite, a cat eater. He married a Japanese or something like that. He definitely married a white woman. He married an Edomite. You understand? It don't matter how many heathens he married. You understand? He married heathens. His heart turned away from the Lord. He worshipped the heathens, built altars or whatnot. The Lord said, well, damn, you had 1,000 wives. Well, he didn't say that, but you get the point. Solomon had 1,000 wives. Yeah, listen, he had the choice. There's 12 tribes. The kingdom was united. He could have picked any of the 12 tribes. He decided to go with the heathens. Samson decided to go with a heathen. Samson saw the heathen. He said, I want her. That's who I want. You understand? Listen, integration is bad. You know, we're running short on time, so let's get this article, right? We might do a part 2 to show you, you know, we should not integrate. Let me get this. What is the article? I had another article. Bear with me 1 second. Let me share this real quick. Read that title.
Khan. What we know about Renee Nicole Good, the mom killed by ICE in the Minneapolis.
I didn't even know she was a mom. I thought she was a lesbian. That's irrelevant though. But this is the product of the integration. You know they're going to blame you for that, right? They're going to blame you. Somehow it's your fault. They said that she was trying to warn immigrants ICE is in the neighborhood. That's what they're saying, allegedly. You understand? You're going to be blamed for that. Just know that you're going to, just like you were blamed. Listen, you know what's the product of integration? The product of integration is you being blamed for the unaliving of Charlie Kirk, despite the fact that he was unalived by a fellow Caucasian man. That's integration. I mean, now that you are integrated, you could be a scapegoat. You are around them. You are within their community. You're integrated, right? Somehow they're going to blame you. You know, all we had to do is stick to our own. We didn't have to integrate. Integration caused the reason Nicole is unalived by a fellow white man is because of integration. Listen, I know you don't care about black people. I know. That's why we have to teach you to care about black people. That's why we have these classes, these brotherhood classes, to teach you how to care about black people, how to care about Latinos, how to care about your fellow native Indian men and women. But can't you at least do it for white people? Don't you want to save white lives? You know why? You know what white people called her? White people called her a nigger lover. You know segregation would have prevented that, right? You absolutely know that, right? Segregation benefits everybody. It benefits everybody. Maybe now, Peyton Gendron said he was trying to save the white race. He can't save the white race. You know how this despicable act of unaliving black people is not helping save the white race. You know how he could have saved the white race? By leaving black people to their own devices, looking for a white woman to breed and have sex with her, to make some children. That's how white people save the white race. Trying to exterminate us never worked. That's biblical. Everything is biblical. You understand? Let's go real quick. Exodus, what is it? Chapter 1? Exodus chapter 1, verse 12. You understand? Let me share my screen. Read that, Babu Kushat. Exodus chapter 1, verse 12.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 12. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew.
Listen, you could lynch us in 2025. You could deport us. You know, Martinique and Guadeloupe have the highest rate of prostate cancer in the world. I keep saying that, but it's a fact. The French literally poisoned us. Listen, you're trying to exterminate the Haitians, and every time there's more Haitians just popping up everywhere. It doesn't work. You cannot work us to death. We just keep coming back. But I'm not even talking about reincarnation. Listen, do you know how fast? Listen, people say y'all breeding like rabbits. We breed like damn near rabbits. You know how we have big families. You understand? It hurts to see us die by thousands. It hurts. You know, damn, the atrocities. We go back in the history class, the atrocities they did on us. Good night. The things that you made us do to our own children. Did you know to save after these atrocities that our sisters witnessed? Do you know what they used to do? They used to take a needle, right? Let me see. I have a sewing needle right here. They used to take needles. They used to prick their newborn baby in the head and kill it so that he will not have to suffer at the hands of the oppressor. That's what our women used to do. They thought it was the best way possible for our babies to not suffer. You understand? Read that again.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 12. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiply and grew.
Listen, we gotta keep multiplying. what Snoop Dogg said? We don't die, we multiply. He's an idiot anyways, but you know, jokes aside, the point is we keep multiplying. Keep reading.
And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
Peyton Gendron was grieved because he says the white race is going extinct. And what did he do? He went to afflict us by unaliving us. It didn't work. It didn't work. There's a post I seen, right? Canada is saying there's a genocide on the white Canadians in, was it Edmonton or Manitoba? Somewhere. There's no genocide. But the white people think they're going extinct. But this is the problem with white people, right? Can anyone tell me, why do white, besides them being the devil, why do oppressors go to different countries to claim they're gonna stabilize the country, they're gonna, you know, remove dictatorship, whatever the excuse is? Why do they do that? It's simple. Anyone can tell me. Satam, do you know?
To take their resources.
It's more simple than that. Anyone could tell me. You know, for time's sake, I might have to give it to y'all.
Cancer.
You know, think more basic, right? Why do people meddle in other people's affairs? That has nothing to do with them. I damn near gave y'all the answer.
They be nosy? Slovakia.
They don't know how to mind their business.
Con.
That's it. If white people minded their business, the white race will not go extinct. Why? Because they'll be focused on making more babies. That's it. You understand? They can't focus on making more babies. For one, they're naturally sexual deviant homosexuals. You know, probably don't want to make more babies because they still have that in their veins where they're, you know, they're gonna abuse them anyways, right? But Peyton Gendron should have went, you know, get a girlfriend and breed her. Then the white race, he could have worked on the right race, not going extinct. It's that simple. You know, it's what Michael Jackson said. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. It's as simple as that. Leave us alone. Leave us alone. Go make some white babies. Now, when it comes to our people, we need to leave all these nations alone. Integration never worked. From the biblical times, which is still today, you know, I mean, from the back in the days till today, integration never worked. So much so, the UK is trying to make the UK white again. Canada is trying to become white again. America is trying to be white again. That's integration for you. And you voted for it. France is trying to get rid of all the immigrants. You know, in Australia said what? They said, pull out the machetes and kill the niggas. That's literally what they have. Banners in public spaces. You know what happened with integration? Like I brought up at the beginning of the class, but for time's sake. Integration bottled up the natural anger they have for you. Let's pull this last precept. I'm going to go to Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. They have, you see how lions and hyenas are natural enemies? They are our natural enemy, whether we like it or not. You know, now, have y'all seen the movie Zootopia? The movie Zootopia is a utopic movie, right? It's a utopia, and Zootopia, they pun intended, I guess they did, where predators and prey live alongside each other in harmony. That can never happen. It's a kids movie at that, to let you know what it's made up. This integration where it works is made up. Doesn't exist. It never did. It never will. Now, what did integration do to these people? Besides fearing even more that they're becoming a minority, is it bottled up their natural instinct to want to slaughter you. It bottled up their natural anger, the natural feeling and disgust they have of you. Now, they're letting it all out because they have one of the most racist, openly racist president, who's also a pedophile and on the Epstein list. And he's a criminal. You know. Read that precept, Abu Kusha.
Khan. Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had perpetual hatred.
Do you know what the word perpetual means? So like, stop at the commas, Abu Kusha. The word perpetual means forever, from beginning to the end. You understand? They always hated us. Integration bottled up that hate. It bottled up the anger, and it spiked up when they had a black face as a president, because Obama is not black. It was even worse. Then they had Donald Trump, a openly criminal, sexual deviant, racist, just a regular white man. That's it. I'm gonna just say that he's just a regular white man as president to represent the people. They want to bring segregation back so bad. And that's the worst part of it, is that you trying to keep the status quo after being integrated with them. When they said openly, the white woman said what? She said, what did we integrate for? So we could share the same toilet? She literally said that. I don't know, but knowing how disgusting these people are, I wouldn't want to share the same toilet at all. I don't want to go in the same bathroom as them. I want to be at the same table. They said they don't wash, like what, once a month? They let the water drip down their leg, barely. And then you want to integrate with these people, share the same. They're not in Greece. You wanted to share the same showers and gyms. That was a damn. The white woman literally said, what did we integrate for? To share the same toilets and drink from the same fountains? You want to drink from a fountain? You want to share the same water fountain with the people that kiss their dogs in the mouth? And they said they want to segregate? Why would you fight for integration? They don't want to be around you. Listen, let them save the white race. Let them make more white babies. They have a white population issue. Let them go breed. And you go back to what you need to do, which is following the laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand? Integration is a failed experiment on all sides. We see it historically, from the early 1900s to the biblical times. This is in our records. Today, they said we don't even want to share the same toilet. You know, I see the clip, white woman, she pulled out her, what's it called? Colostomy bag full of piss, and she assaulted someone with her piss. This is the people you want to share a toilet with? Damn. That's bad. You bottled up the hatred white people freely had of you. That's all you did. You know, let's say, and pressure bust pipes, that pressure, that bottled up anger is bursting right now. So bad that there is your kids are not safe, your elderly are not safe. None of us are safe. They're not even safe from themselves, which is why the white woman died. What is it, in Minnesota?
Concert.
You understand? That's integration. Segregation benefits everybody. With that said, we're going to end the class right here. You understand? To water for everyone who tuned in, Officer 1000 Adiyar and Trooper Saddam were here today with us. Right? I'm going to get the security announcements. And y'all get ready for John Muhammad's scripture breakdown class on I.S.U.P.K. One West online classes on YouTube. Tune in, come and comment, ask all your questions, and we get a security announcements. And we will see you tomorrow for the Lasha 1 Kodash class, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Officer 500 Barak Yala, Israel. We'll see you tomorrow. Shalom. This is the I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General YAHANNA. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18 verse 21 and Malachi chapter 3 verse 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation, we have the memorial, Purim coming up, which will be the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month, which falls on Monday, March the 2nd, and Tuesday, March the 3rd, 2026. You can read more about it in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 20-31. Remind all Akim and Aquati to check the bulletin board of the hallway of the school. And if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. But that's what we'll give a courtesy salute to the brothers and a courtesy salute to the sisters. Menavejo Imajam, which means to stand. We'll give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Menavejo Imajam Shabbat. Imajam. Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Brakatham. Meaning Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless y'all. Yajamata, which means hands down. Sar, which means to turn and face the sisters if you have any in your presence. We'll give them a courtesy salute as well. Menavejo Imajam Shabbat. Imajam. Barak. Yahweh Shamar Alathan Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Meaning Yahweh, watch over y'all in the name of Yahweh Shai. Yajamata means hands down. Class dismissed. Water Israel, we will see you tomorrow for the last one for Dash. Shalom.
We have a gift that nobody can see, that was handed over to us to do something amazing. Take the gifts, man. Take the gifts. Take the gifts, man. And let the Most High work in you to do something you have never believed.
I ain't even impressed what you expect. You see this shit? Hold on, there's one West on my chest.
One West world, that's it.
Fuck a street code, let a priest law. No stain, break dang with the leash off. I ain't nothing of this world, I need a respawn. I just know they wish that I would stop, but I keep going. These fringes on my calf like a tube sock. I used to stuff the loose ones in my shoebox. And we came a long way from the curbside. Now we looking from the top from a bird eye. And I can't leave my brother on the battlefield. Lord, let the hell rain, we gon' see who real. And you know they gon' hate when they see a plate. So imagine what they doing for $250,000. And we really the only ones going to war. You niggas just be talking like y'all won the war. I made love to this truth and there's no divorce. My Spanish mommy call me Poppy like a corner store. Let me show you how to do it. Said he living by the word, I think it's time he proved it. I think you better use your head before you fucking lose it. And say the acting for the camera, this is not a movie. I pray to God I don't fall off. I ain't nothing like y'all. Niggas think they slime, cut their head off a python. Blame me for my outlook, never counted the lookouts. The world said I wasn't shit, but look at how I turned out. Not so bad, huh? Why you mad, huh? We go hard, but go harder for the have-not. Listen, when that oil hit your leg, then you can't stop. Your feet better hit the ground running, this shit bedrock. Man, we tried to put him on, but he sleep. Waking up the people, that's the job for a priest. Hopped out the wheel, fringes swinging like a pendulum. You heard of the tribes, where the fuck you think they get it from? Look, I'm a soldier, get the order, then I get it done. Got some big shit to split the water, make these niggas run. Why you hurt? If I told the truth, then I showed you love. Let me prove it, wanna move right, let me show you how to do it. Let me show you how to do it. Said he living by the word, I think it's time he proved it. I think you better use your head before you fucking lose it. And say the acting for the camera, this is not a movie.
Don't step over the line though. Everybody, anybody, it's up for everybody. And that's I got bigger fish to fry. I got people to say it. I ain't even on a rap, so I already beat the rap shit.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General YAHANNA presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026 in Houston, Texas. All black Hispanics and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General YAHANNA. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and war like apparel.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one